Welcome back to the Crochet Carousels, my friends at yarnspirations.com. Look on the screen right now, and isn't this fabulous? This is a cinnamon hat. This is for adults, and I'll show you what it looks like. And we have a free pattern available for you. We're going to go through all the steps today and to be able to make this. And this hat is made up of a rectangular shape. So if I just zoom you out just a little bit here, you can see it's just a rectangular shape that is approximately about 20 inches long. So I have two different versions. We have the cookie cream version, and this one here is shorter, so there's a different stitch count when we go to start versus the berry twist right here, which is a little bit longer. So toque format, more skull format with this one here. So once we get this done, we're going to do a flat stitch braid. We use video chapters in our videos, and you can use that, and you can see that was done right here. And so you'll be able to do that. You'll see the video description for the video chapters if you're looking for that. A very easy 4-row repeat pattern, and once you get moving on this, it's going to be awesome. Let the colors show up where they do, because it'll look awesome. And then once we have it all complete, we're going to turn it here, make it into a cylinder, and then we'll do the brim and then the top. Let's get started immediately. Included with the free pattern is this crochet diagram that I zinged up for you today. These chevron shapes are representing the horizontal bar, and so you use the horizontal bar plus the front loop of the stitch to create the texture that we're going to be getting into. On row number 4, whenever we do it, we're just using the regular stitches because it's too hard to see it, and I don't want to stress you out too much. So it's a nice easy repeating pattern. It's in multiples of 2 plus 1, so if you want to do this for a blanket or whatever. And I did reduce the hook size to a size G, US 7 or 4.5 millimeter if you're into the metric. Let the colors show up where they will, and I'm going to show you a small sample. You're going to do it, and well, if you want to, and then I will show you how to complete this as we go. So let's grab our hook and yarn and let's play. So grab your crochet hook and let's begin. So you'll start with a slip knot on the hook. So if you want the smaller version, which is more fitting to your head, it is 8.5 inches tall, start to finish. It is 25 for the chain, and the other one, more of a toque or a tall version, is 10 inches. And any other size, you can just do multiples of 2 plus 1. So that's what I'm going to do with here. So either chain 25, 31, and if you don't know what a multiple of 2 plus 1 is, you go 2, 2, 2. When you're happy with the width of it, just add 1. So either chain 25, 31, or multiples of 2 plus 1. So let's start with their chain. No matter what size you did, they're all the same. Second chain from the hook. So here's the first one. Grab the second, turn it over, get the back hump of the chain because it'll look nicer. And I need you to half double crochet into the back hump of that chain. So the chain 1 that you skipped over is not going to be counting as a stitch in this pattern. So move to your next chain and do a half double crochet, and half double crochet in each one of the chains all the way down to the other side. I'll see you there in a moment. Once you get all the way across your chain, just turn your work, and we're going to begin row number 2. To not get confused on what the first stitch is, the first chain of the row will never count as a stitch. It's just a builder. And what we're going to use is the 2 front loops, so the horizontal bar. So normally what we do is that we half double crochet into the top of the stitch. You see the 2 strands there. But what we want to do for this is that we want to use this one right here plus the front loop. So you're going to wrap the hook and slide up, capturing the horizontal bar and the front loop only. Yarn over, pull through all 3. And once you understand that, it's a lot easier to tell. And now that you've done it once, you're almost fooling yourself to think that this is the top, when in actual fact it's the horizontal plus the front loop only, because if you turn it around, you'll see it there. So just work your way all the way down as doing a half double crochet in the front 2 loops, just like that. Please go all the way down to the end. This is row number 2. Coming all the way to the end, I still got 1 more to go. And that's it. So did you turn your work around yet? If you do, you're going to see a horizontal line. So if you accidentally didn't get in, if you accidentally went and used the 2 wrong loops at any point, you will see that this line will be broken. So you will only get a solid line if you use the the horizontal bar and the front loop only. Let's move on to round number 3. So row number 3, I know round, row, it's all the same. in my mind. Okay, so let's move to row number 3 here. You're going to chain 1, and the first stitch out is going to be a half double crochet, 2 front loops in the cluster. So, and we're doing that as a cluster. So you're going to yarn over, and you're going to go up into the 2 front loops, so the horizontal and the front loop only, and yarn over, pull through, just like that. And then you're going to yarn over again into the same one, yarn over, pull through. So you end up with 5 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through all 5. If you don't like this, you can always just do a double crochet kind of 2 together as well if you would like to, but that's your call. So you just got to make sure that you get the amount of distance that you need at the end. So the next stitch here is going to be a single crochet in the 2 front loops. And you're going to alternate between these 2 ideas going all the way across. So yarn over, and this will be a cluster, so you're going up into the 2 front loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over again into the same spot, pull through, and pull through all through 5 loops. And then the next one is a single crochet in the 2 front loops. And you're creating this beautiful texture. Okay, so do you see that? So if this line disappears at all right underneath, it means that you've got the wrong ones. And sometimes I did that during my sample, then when I'm not paying attention and the TV is too good. So the next one then will be a cluster. And then the next one is a single crochet. Always using the 2 front loops here. So please go all the way down, alternating between the 2 of these, and I'll see you at the end. If your counts are right, the last one will always be a single crochet in the 2 front loops. So the first one was the cluster and then the single crochet. And because we have an even number count, the last one will always be a single crochet in the front 2 loops. So when we turn it, we can see that the visible line is there, so we know we're good. Let's move on to row number 4. So row number 4, I keep saying round, but we don't do the rounds until we get to the brim. So to start, you're going to chain up 1, and see this hole right here? That's where you're going to go. It's the top of this two rows below, and you're going to do a half double crochet spike. So you're just going to wrap the hook going in there, pull through, give it a bit of distance, and then pull through all 3. And when the colors change in the future, when that happens, it's really obvious, and you can see that in the sample. The top of the cluster is just going to be a half double crochet into the regular stitch, so we're not going to worry about the 2 front loops for this. So now the next one is a spike. So half double crochet coming down. So it's right above this horizontal line right here. Pull through, give it a bit of distance, and pull through all 3. And the next one is a half double crochet in the cluster. And then the next one is a spike. Okay, you're going to do this all the way to the other side, and I'll see you there in just a moment. The last stitch when you get all the way over should be a half double crochet in the top of the cluster, because we started off with a spike and there's an even number, so it's spike and then half and then spike and half, so the last one has to be a half. We're going to turn our work and do row number 5. Row number 5, chain up 1, and we're going to just half double crochet in each of the front loop, 2 loops only. We can see it here now. So you yarn over and going in, and if you're not sure, just turn it more, and you can see there's the top officially. So you're getting the front, this horizontal, and the top front loop, and you're just going to half double crochet and mosey on down, just using those 2, going all the way across. So you don't have a horizontal bar if you use a single crochet. So sometimes when you're thinking, it's like, well, where is it? You may have actually accidentally done a single crochet instead of a horizontal front bar. So you can see I incorrectly grabbed it when I did this last one. That was actually a real mistake. So we want to make sure that we're only grabbing the 2 front loops when we do that. So if you turn it around and see that there's an inconsistency, that's what it is, because that happened to me before. So just half double crochet the 2 front loops only all the way down. Make sure you do that final one right at the end. And just make sure you get that last half double crochet in, and then turn your work. And then row number 6 is going to be the ending of the repeating of the pattern. Let's begin row number 6. So row number 6, you chain up 1, and again what we just already did. So the 2 front loops only, so the horizontal plus the front loop, and just mosey on down and just do your half double crochet all the way across. So this makes the line appear on the other side for this, but this is the opposite side of the hat. So where these pop out is the good side of the work, and when there is no pop out, that means it's the inside of the hat when you're doing this. Please go all the way across for row number 6. The end of number 6 here, going right into the edge, and turn your work, and you can see that this is the inside of the hat. So we're now going to repeat now 3 through 6. I'll do it with you on camera, but you're going to do 3 through 6 until the project measures 20 inches in the width. If you want it tighter, then just stop and earlier in order to do that, but you need to end on a 6th row. So let's begin row number 3. Row number 3, you're going to chain 1, and so when we do those clusters, what happens is that it goes to the opposite side. So whenever we do a cluster, we have to be looking at the back of the project because the cluster pops out the opposite side. So we start off with the half double crochet cluster right in the first stitch. So that's what we've done before. And then the next one is a single crochet in the 2 front loops only. So you're going to alternate between the 2 of these all the way down the end. And see me there in a moment. So this is row number 3 once again. Coming into the last one is a single crochet in the 2 front loops. And then we turn our work, and you can see that a new section now of these clusters is now jumping out. Let's begin row number 4. The color happens to be changing, which is going to show you a great example of how this will look. So row number 4, you chain 1 and you do a half double crochet spike down right here. So yarn over and in, yarn over, pull through, give it a bit of slack, and pull through the 3. And then at the top of this one right here, it's a half double crochet into the cluster. And the next one is a spike, so it's just above this horizontal line, it's right here. So it's straight on down, give it a bit of slack. So get used to giving it the same amount of slack in order to make it work. So the color's just changed. And so you can see that when you do these spikes down, is that the coloring really does a cool job on how it will line up. So whether it changes in a spike or anywhere else, it still looks good. So you're going to move your way all the way down here for row number 4, and meet me at the end in just a moment. And for those carrying on, just put me on pause because I'm almost there already. So we're just carrying on down. Don't forget to do the half double crochets. You need those loops in order to use it, and if you use a single crochet, it will not show up. And the very last one is a half double crochet into the top of the cluster. Turn your work, and let's do row number 5. 5 and 6 are both the same, just chain up 1 and half double crochet into the 2 front loops as always. It's giving you that cool texture. And go all the way down there, and I'll see you at the end in a moment. So I'm coming right to the end. Okay, one more row is number 6 is the repeat. So just keep glancing to make sure that you get those solid lines that are supposed to be there. So row number 6 is next. Okay, row number 6, you're just going to chain up 1 and then just do your front 2 loops, half double crochet all the way down. And then we're going to be talking strategy after this. I'll see you at the end of the row. So coming into the very last one, and then you start number 3 again. So use those video chapters and make sure you can see your lines. And you're going to go now until this project is approximately 20 inches in the width. So we're going to have you do that. And when I come back in just a moment, I'm going to take you back to the real sample, and then we're going to continue to finish that off camera. So just put the video on pause, and next time you come and see me on the video, it should start right where you stop. And I'll be right back in a moment. So let's get our orientation. So I just finished on our row number 6. Okay, we're here on the wrong side of the work. Because I can see the bobbles are popping up towards me, this shows that I'm on the right. So let's get our orientation. So I just finished row number 6. So what I want to do is just turn the project around and just flip it up like this so that the stitch is down here, and these bobbles need to be popping out towards you. It's the good side of the work or the right side that is showing. Okay. So now what we're going to do is a flat stitch join going all the way up on this hat. I'll show you that next. The flat stitch join is going to use the back loop of this one over here. So let me just get another hook and show you. So it's going to be the back loop of this one, and it's going to be the back loop of this one. And this is going to cause it to sink down. So using the back loop here, keep this yarn in behind the work and go into the same back loop opposite, so this side, and you're going to yarn over and pull through everything. It's a slip stitch. You then advance to the next one, and then to the next back loop over here, and yarn over, pull through everything. And you're going to work your way all the way down, so this side, and always go in the same order so that it looks the best. And this yarn always has to be coming from the back. This is easier when it's on my lap versus on a table like this, but you have to decide what's going to work for you, obviously. So back and back and through. So go all the way down, and I'll see at the end, do not fasten off when you get there, and you're going to see a line that will show up. And I'm up and I'm through. Okay, so you can see that it blends in quite nicely here, and therefore this will be then the brim that we're about to do. Recommendation, anytime that you have a loose end that's in your way, I'd recommend you get it out. So do not fasten this off, but any loose ends, I'm going to just show you that you're going to just take this and get rid of it. So put it onto a tapestry needle. And this is going to be highly critical for those tails. So turn it to the inside of the hat because you've now established that. And you're just going to drag it down through. Just make sure that you just don't pull it so tight that it changes the shape. Okay, and just back and forth. It's already in a slip knot anyway, so you don't have to do too much to it. And then get rid of that, and therefore that's out. So do that with any loose ends that you have, and I'm moving on to the brim next. The next step we need to do is to evenly space 64 stitches around of half double crochet. If you would like it tighter, just make it less, but make sure it's always an even number. Take this here and fold it directly, so make sure it's not fastened off, and fold it directly in half so that the seam line is here. We are now going to place a spare piece of yarn at the halfway point, and this will represent when we get there. And the easiest way to space it out is to know that you need 32 stitches by the time you get here, and then the other 32 will be on the other side. So I've found in the past that when they say equally spaced, I get about 3/4 of the way around. I either have way too much or too low, but if I know that I need 32 by this point, it makes me space it out better and less likely to frog. So we're going to pick up this yarn, put it into our hand, and we're going to start our first revolution of equally spacing 64 stitches all the way around. So 32 by the time you get here, and the other 32 on the other side. So we are just going to chain up 1 and just equally space out the stitches of half double crochet. So don't try to go into a full space, but always try to go into some chain work because it'll look nicer. So if I go into the space here, it's going to pull it open. So try to stick within the chain work itself here. And so this would be considered number 1 and 2 and 3, 31 and 32. So So I got 32 in here. So you can see you can somehow squeeze them together, and when you do the next round, you're going to see how everything will balance. So get the other 32 done on the opposite side. So if you're missing it, you can just stop here because you've just got this indicated to where the first 32 is in. So if you have to frog back, you only frog back to here. Please continue to add the other 32 in. So I got my 32 in, and I'm just going to join it to the top of the first half double crochet. So make sure to pull it nice and tight. So you will see that it's kind of not being kind of elastic yet because we're going to apply that in the next round, number 2. So round number 2, we're going to get ourselves established for the rib stitch, and you're just going to chain up 1, will not count as a stitch, and you immediately, in the one that you did the join with, you're going to make this as a front post half double crochet. And then the other one next to it has to be a back post half double crochet. So a front post and a back post, and you're going to alternate it between the two, and if you have an even number, it will work out, and if you don't, just fudge it at the end just to make it look good if that happens to you. I wouldn't necessarily frog anything, but that's up to you. Go all the way around. I'll see you at the end of the round number 2. If your counts are right, the last one will be a half double crochet back post, so then you have the brim taking shape. So rounds number 3, 4, and 5 will always be the same, and then you're going to fasten off. To begin rounds number 3, 4, and 5, it's always the same. Just chain up 1 and just put a half double crochet around the first half double crochet front post. So a front post around the front post, and then a back post, half double crochet back post around the back post. And you're going to do rounds number 3, 4, and 5 always the same. And then at the end, just make sure that you fasten off and weave in your ends, and you will notice that this will be a little bit more tighter. If you think it's too loose, just do a 2 together if you would like to do that. So maybe you think it's too loose, just put 2 together like that, and just eliminate your stitches if you want to. So continue along. If you think it's too loose, then you may want to reduce 64 stitches and make it 60, and whatever you do, just keep it as an even number. So I will be back at the end of number 5. I'll let you on a secret. I got one more round to go. I intentionally changed the colors so that I have a full round of this final color to go all the way around, so I don't have a brim that has a split color in it. So the brim has actually been changed completely so that the color will be only on this last round. So I don't say that in the pattern because this is one of those juicy tidbits for YouTube here. I'll see you at the end of number 5. At the end of number 5, just slip stitch to the top, grab your tapestry needle, weave in the ends, and then we're going to turn this around and start doing the tail ends at the top of the hat next. So you can see how when we went around that we created the front and back posts here of the half double crochet, which then gives it the stretch feeling of what we want to do. So now we're going to turn this back towards the stitch line here, and we need to prepare our ball because we want only 4 colors, and if you want to do more or less, it's up to you, or just carry on with the ball, you decide. But I think choosing 4 colors from the same ball that right here is what we're going to do next. So my ball should actually be bigger, but I've been using the same yarn with play yarn, and I'm just going to separate out the colors itself. So we're just going to grab our scissors, and so now I have a blue color that will be coming up. So this will be one ball of the blue, and leave it off to the side. And so I'm only doing 4. So because I was just using this one here, I know it's not a full section of the same color. And so then I'm going to grab my purple and whatever is here on the ball. I think there's 6 colors altogether. I'm only choosing 4. So that means that you can mix and match whatever you would like to do on there. So right where it's separating. So I now have my 4 colors chosen. So they're fresh exactly as is. It doesn't matter which one you use first. And I actually pulled this from the first sample that I was working with earlier at the start of this video. So I wanted to keep this color going because I love it. So let's make sure that we're going to get our hat ready, and let's go back to the seam line and choose whatever color that you would like to do to begin the join. I highly recommend that when you start this, get rid of the loose end immediately once you join it. So let's just grab our hook again and let's create a slip knot, and let's attach in. And every time you add a new color, you're just going to equally space it around, kind of how you were doing down here. And so you're going to add a new color. Okay, so just put it in there with a slit and then pull through like that. Now, I'm here on take number 2, and I'm about to chain 15 and then slip stitch back in. I made a mistake on the first time I went through this. I actually got most of the way around and I ran out of yarn because I made a mistake. So after it's got the single crochet in, you were going to chain 15. So that has not changed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And then we're going to slip stitch back, second chain from the hook, all the way back down. So what I made a mistake of doing is that I didn't put a single crochet in between things on my end here, and that changed the yarn usage. So therefore I ran out of yarn, which we can't have. So we're coming all the way back down. Just like so. And I'm back here. So what I wanted to do, so I'm slip stitching, is that I want a single crochet evenly around. So just choose a spot, single crochet in, and then you're going to single crochet again. So coming in, and when you come in, you want to grab the next color. So the next color is already secured in, but you're going to want to start it with the slip knot and then just attach it, just like that. Just attach. So let me just put the video up for that. So then what you're just going to do then is chain 15 and then second chain from the hook, slip stitch all the way back down, and then make sure that you place a single crochet by itself and then start a second one and then change the yarn. So what you're going to do is then have all of your 4 colors then going into position. And so by doing so, you're going to get yourself faster around, because before I was doing one of these every stitch instead of every other one. So please do that all the way around, and I'll be right back. So now we just chained 15, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, and then coming all the way back down. So this slip stitching allows you to kind of have a fun top without it being strands on top. So therefore you can sew your hat, or you can wash your hat if you want to. And make sure you try to keep your balls organized as well. So try not to let them tangle too much. So with the 4 colors that are in play, once they're all in, then you're just going to carry the yarn across the top of the hat and only use that color when you need to. So I'm all the way back down. So I'm going to single crochet in just somewhere. Okay. It's pretty tight up here. So single crochet, and then start a second single crochet, and then change the color. So in my case, it will be blue. So I would have put a slip knot on to the hook, secured in the tail, and then carried on. We're doing with what I know. So chain 15, and then do the same thing and add the final color. So I'll be back in just a few moments as I show you then how to do the carrying color that's already in play. So the 4th color is now in with the gold, and so I have now the start of the second single crochet. So I'm going to let the gold drop, pick up the purple, and just kind of make it taut. Okay, so it can be pulled a little bit too much because it's going to be pulled on the top anyway. And so you're going to pull that through. Okay, so I just finished the last color of the grouping of 4 that I'm doing. So I'm gonna pick up the purple again. So just let the gold drop, pick up the purple one, pull it tight, and pull through, and then chain 15, and then do your slip stitching back, and etc. So now you're just gonna pick up the yarns that are just kind of holding in position, pulling them tight as you're going all the way around. Please do this all the way around for the final. So we're now back, and I've got a spare piece of yarn, and I've got everything kind of woven off here. So we can see all the little pieces on the top, all the different colors, and we're just gonna put this into a tapestry needle. So it's just a spare piece of yarn. You can start anywhere you want to, just fold it back, and you just wanna grab into a piece of the top. Pull it through and put it through the slip knot, and this will hold it from pulling out. You're now going to carefully go all the way around on the inside of this, and keeping the carried yarn out of the way. So just stay towards the top of the stitch work. I'm now all the way back around to where I started, and now I'm going to carefully, keeping any of those carried ends on the inside, and just securely and just help it to pull in. And you're going to keep pulling until you can get it as tight as you can. Once you think you can get it, I can only get my thumb in there now. So I'm not going to be able to close it all the way because of there was no taper at the edge. So I'm just going to take this yarn now, and I'm just going to go directly across the hole. And I'm going to take that and go diagonally down through here and across in the other direction. So you're not going to want to use thread or anything like that. You want to use the actual yarn, because thread is so tight it can cut. It's so sharp. So now, once you think you have it, you're just going to push the needle to the inside and use your hand to follow it through. And then you're just going to secure that on the inside of the hat. Now, I didn't weave in the other yarns yet, but I will. See where this comes out of. And I'm just going to force this into a knot. And what you can do with all the loose ends that you have, just do the same thing. Just kind of force it into a knot, tie it onto itself. And because it's the inside of the hat, you don't have to be too conscious about the look of it. Once you think you have it done, you can just safely cut your yarn down if you want to do one more. I'm going to do one more just for safe measure, because I'm going to donate this to a charity. I'll get rid of my loose ends first before I do that, obviously. And then I can just trim that, and then I can bring it back out and just give it a good shushing up the top. And therefore I kind of have my permanent kind of pom-pom situation going on. And this would be how you would do this fun little hat. Let me know what you think. I'll see you on the next video ahead.